I want to explain a couple of things with train tracks right now, and that is I'm going to use foundations to lay my train tracks, but not everywhere. There are going to be some gaps in the air, but I'm going to use the key points for placing foundations to place train lines. Now, one thing with train lines is they are long. The length that you can place them, and I'll just place a couple more out here, and I'm going to go through some steps on placing train lines to explain it. But if we start off with the train line that began here at the beginning of this foundation, you can give you an example of how long it's allowed to run. So here we go. It should be, and we can count that out. So it's 12 and a half, or just under half by the looks of it. 12 and a half is how long the max length the train can run. And some other things as well. If you're ever unsure if a train will clip through something, just pretend to make the train on the train track, and then you can see there it's going through perfectly fine. It's not going to hit the top there. It doesn't matter, it's just nice visually. So that's just something I wanted to demonstrate there. And the other thing I wanted to demonstrate with train lines is the reason why I'm running along foundations and using foundations is because of clipping that occurs in the landscape. So here is, you can see that it does actually go flow along with the land, and it works quite well, but you have grass coming through. Now some of that is okay, but then you get some issues like this. Where did that work? Here we go. Yeah, look, it literally runs through the ground. And the way to fix that is, okay, you make it short a bit to go to about here, and then you go to here, and but it starts to get a bit not straight and nice and fun. So that's why you're going to watch me build this particular method I'm about to go through now. Just starting off with, a lot of the times I will use these 4-meter ramps, and these are the just so it's clear and not confusing. These are the 2-meter ramp inclines, okay? That you can see there. That's what they are. They're called 4-meter ramps because they're a 2 and a 2 flip, so it's a 4-meter travel distance. But they're the 2s. The 4-meter foundations have a steeper incline. It means the trains travel more slowly. There's a few things like that get involved with it. So by using the 2s, you can get some nicer inclines, and these ones here, which are the double ramp 2 meters, you can get even nicer, smoother inclines, but a lot more work involved. So starting off with here, we're coming from here, and I want to head up to, and probably to this height over here, is where I want to be, and I'm going to use the frames a bit. And in this point, I want to have this height because of this here, how it's running at this level here. So I could at this point run the train line. If I get rid of, if I get rid of this here, the train line should naturally, and it'll be long enough. These frames are great, but you can fall through them a bit if you're not watching what you're doing. See how I have a really nice, smooth, gradual climb up to here? I don't need this bit of, I'll probably get rid of this here. This will get refined. I'll find putting it up a bit more. But the point here is I'm not relying on this, or this. All I used that for was to get this into the location I wanted. Then, as we talked about before, 12 and a quarter, 12 and a half. So, and I'm using these. Now, I'm actually going to then cut it over to there. So what we're going to do is, there's two ways we can do this. I'm going to say that this one here is where I want to be. Actually, hold on. Oops, I need to assign that one to my hotbar. So let's put that there. But I also, what I want to do is I want to run over to this one here. And I want it to go that way. We're going to use some of the landscape over there. With that in mind, what I might do here is I want to go... Yeah, we'll go there. So here's the trick. I could go, let's try this first. We'll get our train line. We'll connect it from here. I'll terminate it here. And then I'll go over to here. But the problem is, to start off with, my train track's too long and I can't rotate it like a conveyor belt does. I don't want it to go, I don't want it facing this way. I want it facing that way. So the way around some of this stuff is to lay a bit of guiding track first. So I'm going to put down here, starting where I wanted to have it was. Sometimes it's easier to start on a bit of foundation like here, and then go to the center bit in these frames, like so. So now I've got something to click onto. So I should then be able to go from here to there and see how it's made a really nice gradual smooth curve to here. I can now get rid of this section and rid of these two pieces here, and I don't need any of this stuff here. I am going to keep this one here because it's part of the, I don't need any of this because it's, well, it's not floating, but it's oh, I need that one. Let's work back this way. Oops, I'm a bit of a clumsy person with the right mouse click sometimes. But when you look at that now, that is a really nice, smooth flowing aesthetic. I can go and get in the train and bring the build train up and just continue building the train line this way, and we'll get a really nice smooth, and you get to experience if that's how you want it to feel. And you can see how this is kind of fitting into the natural landscape, and it's not a janky sort of train setup. It's a nice gradual, you can see the trains come through there with no clipping. It's going to run along parallel here. Yeah. Now with trains also, you'll notice it'll start rolling, but when you jump out of the train, it will automatically stop with the handbrake on. But I'm just going to keep progressing on making this train line and give you some pointers as I go